Hey everyone, welcome again to Bake Your Way Kitchen. On today's video, we're going to be doing a brownie recipe. Yeah, I know, you've seen probably lots of brownie recipes, and I think I've even done one on this channel. But this one's unique in a way, because oftentimes, this is actually a cocoa brownie. Now, oftentimes, at least when I think of a cocoa brownie, I think of a pretty dry, unpleasant brownie. I like fudgy brownies and I like using melted chocolate, but let's say you're not in a position where you have chocolate, you have a high quality chocolate in the house, which is the case for me right now. And I had a brownie craving, so I had to settle. But this is not settling, as I recently discovered. This is an adaptation of an Epicurious recipe, and I will point to that original recipe down below. But I've adapted it in a few ways, so it's so super simple to make. What I've got here is a pot with an inch or two of water and a heat-proof glass bowl. And I'm basically created a double boiler, although you can do the step I'm about to do in the microwave. So what I've got here is 10 tablespoons, which is about 140 grams of butter, or half a cup plus 2 tablespoons of butter. And I'm actually using a salted one here, I know. I never use salted butter. But it was on sale. And it's just, some people in my family, they always like to have salted butter rather than unsalted. I don't get it. So, I got the butter here. I've got sugar here. Now, in the original recipe, they've used 1 1/4 cups, but I found 1 cup is enough. 1 cup of sugar is enough. This is brownies here. So 200 grams. I'm really off today. 200 grams of sugar, and I'm using a raw sugar, but yeah, just a white sugar, anything will do. So just add that in. I've also got here about 60 grams, 3/4 of a cup of a cocoa powder. You can use the regular or the Dutch processed, whatever. It's not going to be a huge difference. Whatever you've got on hand. Now, I like to add things. This is a little different. I'm adding some some ground coffee. I think it really helps elevate the flavor. And I've added a pinch of salt. Now, if you used unsalted butter, you can add about a half a teaspoon of salt. It's really up to you. So that's all we're going to do for now. This is going to go, I'm going to bring this over to the stove over low heat, and I'm going to let this go until it is just melted completely, and then immediately take it off the stove. So I'll show you that step in a minute. But before you do that, you're going to want to grease an 8-inch baking pan or whatever. You can use a glass or whatever you got. And you're also going to want to preheat your oven to 180 degrees Celsius, 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And so we've got all that ready. So I'm going to clean up, get this on the stove until it is melted, and I will show you what it looks like once it's done.
So now our chocolate mixture has fully melted, and now what we're going to do is add in our eggs one at a time. We're just going to beat it in, just make sure everything is all fully incorporated first. So we're just going to whisk it in using the whisk. Just beat it in. Once the first egg is beaten, you can go ahead and add the second egg. Just really make sure that you're not leaving any streaks or anything. Just make sure that it's all blended in well. We're going to add the second egg. And you'll notice when you add the first egg, it doesn't feel like it's coming really together, but once you add the second egg, it really starts to come together. You definitely need 2 eggs for this. And you're just simply going to beat that in. You can do this using a hand mixer, stand mixer, or just by hand. That's what it'll look like. And you also, after adding in the eggs, you add your dry ingredients. I neglected to show, I guess, on camera adding in the vanilla. I added that before the eggs. The dry ingredients is the last thing you add. You just want to fold everything in very gently because you do not want to overmix with a brownie recipe, otherwise it just will not turn out. You want to use a folding method, basically from the sides to the middle, from the sides to the middle, and that will really make sure that you're gently adding it. Then you're going to want to pour it into your square pan, and it's going to go into the preheated oven, 350 degrees Fahrenheit, 180 degrees Celsius, and it's going to bake for about 20-25 minutes. I would say definitely keep an eye on it after 15 minutes. It really depends on the oven. Some ovens are quicker than others. Mine tends to be pretty quick. Make sure that it's all fully there's no air bubbles. Then we're going to transfer it, and you're looking with a toothpick test to make sure it's done.
So we are back now. I did bake this off a little bit later than when I made the batter, and as you can see, it's completely set. You're looking for basically some cracks on the sides of the brownie, and you want to make sure when you take out the brownie it's not shaking in the middle, because then you'll know if it's shaking in the middle, it's probably undercooked. Another method is the toothpick test. If it comes out with just crumbs, that's fine. If it's liquid, like a liquid batter, then you know it's not ready yet. So the important thing with brownies is getting them out at the right time. So it's always good to stay monitored with them. These were in for probably, I've got a really fast convection oven, so they usually bake very quick. Oftentimes with standard ovens it's usually 20-25 minutes, but I would keep a watch if your oven's very quick. Anywhere after 15 minutes, definitely take a look. And obviously as soon as you start to smell it, that's an indicator to keep an eye on them. So we're going to do these brownies a little bit differently. What goes well with brownies? Whipped cream. So we're going to do a whipped cream topping, but these need to cool down completely, which requires resistance. This requires patience and resistance. It smells amazing in here, but I'm resisting the urge. I also, while those were in the oven, I whipped up some whipped cream by hand. I had an arm workout, and I've mashed up some strawberries that I'm going to put in the whipped cream, because what's better than brownie and whipped cream? Add in some strawberries. It all pairs so well together. So what I'm going to do is let this cool completely, and I will show you what they look like once they're sliced. Okay, so I let the brownies cool, and I've cut some on a plate here, and I've got a sample here because I'm going to try one now. So I thought the easiest way to do this is to just add the whipping topping when you're serving. And just a note about the whipped cream, and I've made a note of this in the recipe. I literally just used half a cup of whipped cream and 2 mashed strawberries. I whipped up the whipped cream first, just by hand. You can do it with a whisk attachment, or you can buy already whipped up cream. And then you add in your mashed strawberries, and I've got a light tinge pink, but you could add more strawberries if you wanted a stronger strawberry flavor, but this will be good. So I'm just going to add this on top. Oh my goodness. There we go. Whoops, I got a little bit on there. Whipped cream's good. Strawberry whipped cream is amazing. So I'm just going to try this now, right in front of you. Completely decadent and fudgy. Like a fudgy brownie made with cocoa, no melted chocolate required. This recipe is amazing, and as you can see, it's super easy to make. You can adapt it in so many ways. You could add toasted nuts to the brownie batter, whatever you want. This is really good. I'm going back for more. But definitely check out this recipe, and be sure to go to bakeyourway.com for more. And I will see you in the next video.